Hi guys, Schleshraz here. This is I guess you could say podcast number 2 for the release of Watch Dogs.
Hmm.
Came out today.
We
Just
both
depends
got our
on
copy.
we got our copy today from GameStop. In case you didn't
Uh,
know, there is
Not me.
an you didn't get it from GameStop. I
No,
got
I,
mine from.
I ordered it on Amazon.
Okay, well, whatever. In case you didn't know, inside here, right here, there is a code. I'm not going to show you mine, but there is a code inside there. I don't remember what it's for, but use it. There, Anthony is showing you it perfectly. And if you pre-ordered it, there should be an additional code for other various things.
Yeah, wherever you pre-ordered it from, there's different stuff. Like since I ordered mine off Amazon, it comes with a mission, a certain gun, and a skin. And I believe that's kind of the same thing with Jake.
I think it's almost the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just a different mission, a different
Yeah.
gun, and a different skin.
Different. Yeah. What's your skin? Mine's like white.
I have no idea. I haven't even done
Oh.
it yet. When I got it, I just wanted to play it.
Yeah. I just wanted to play it. Another thing, you play is down, so when it asks you to register, don't even bother. Just skip.
Hmm.
Skip right over it. I don't know why it's down.
As of the release date, it's the 27th, correct?
Yeah. As
Yeah.
of the release, it is
So
down.
if you're watching this down the line, that's probably not the case.
Yeah.
But I
I'd
had the
been
same problem. So that like the online part of it, where like people can hack into your game and like hack you or whatever it is. Also, if you don't know what Watch Dogs is, you've either been living under a rock or don't care. Um,
Probably both.
it takes place in Chicago. Where we're from. So.
Nice tank top.
Yeah. This was an impromptu thing. Like we decided, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I didn't get dressed up or anything. Not that I was dressed up yesterday.
Yeah. No. Going on forward from that, as you can see behind it, Anthony was actually playing it prior to making this video. He is at the pause screen, and look how nice it looks.
That's a
Look at
nice
that
pause screen.
That's a good pause screen. So I guess I'll start. First impressions being, I'm going to start with the negatives, and then I'm going to go to the positives, because there's not that many negatives. There's a lot more positives.
Mhm.
So for biggest negative for me is movement, and what I mean by that is not just, I mean just driving, walking. He moves really sluggish, and you can tell it kind of feels like he's weighted down, like he just drags along. And when you run, it's just so slow. And when you drive, it feels like you're just kind of floating slightly off the ground. It's kind of annoying. I can't really think of much else. I'm glad that the hacking's not overcomplicated. You literally just press square in our case.
You just press square, and as it's really easy. It's almost too easy.
Yeah, it's almost too easy. I figured it was going to be a little more difficult.
I mean, it's probably different on the PC if you're playing on PC, because of the lack of buttons on the PS4 controller or the Xbox One controller or whatever you're playing on. Because I believe with PC you're going to be able to rebind the keys.
I'm sure you could.
I haven't checked because the first time I play, I just usually, the first hour, unless there's something that I need to change, I usually just play it how they made it, like with the default settings. But if there's something that I have trouble with, I mean, I'm right-handed, like 70% of the population, so don't need to like rebind the controller. I don't even know if you can do that, but they have different presets, I believe.
Right. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so my first impression, I'll shoot the negatives first, then Jake can do his positives, and I'll do my other negatives. No, I'll do my positives. It's just a shit game. Well, if you look at some of the reviews on Metacritic,
yeah. Oh my god.
We'll get into that later. Yeah, negatives. I agree with Jake. The walking and the running is, I don't know. I expected more out of an Ubisoft game because of their like Assassin's Creeds and even did they do Tomb Raider?
I don't know. You have it, don't you?
I don't know. I don't know. I think they did. Yeah, they did.
Probably.
I remember
We'll
the Uplay. If I'm wrong, fuck it.
You say Uplay?
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So, I was disappointed with the movement. Granted, we each have only played for like 2 or 3 hours. I got
About
mine
2 or 3 hours.
about an hour before Jake, just because his store doesn't open up till 10 o'clock. And he lives in Alaska, so by the time he got it was like 1 o'clock here.
Yeah.
And so the movement shit. I'll just say it's shit.
I'll say it's shit.
The driving is garbage.
Bothersome. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's not only is it like a difficult drive. I mean, I think they tried to make it realistic. Like I was telling him earlier, when you have your foot on the gas and like every other game, you know just take your finger off the right trigger and you start turning right or whatever. You
Hmm.
have to use the brake in order to turn in this game if you're going over like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, it'll
Um,
crash into everything.
yeah, because you do not slow down. If you're trying to stop somewhere, you need to stop. You need to take your foot off the gas and put it on the brake in order to stop like 50, 60 feet back if you're going normal speeds.
Yeah.
The hacking is very simplified, the one button, like I was saying. And another thing I noticed, I don't know if you've driven a motorcycle yet, Jake.
I have.
The motorcycles handle better than the cars,
They do, which is not usually the case.
but they have the same weight as cars.
Yeah.
I was going like 20 miles an hour and I went to a fence just to test it out, and the fence exploded like I was driving a truck.
Jeez. Instead of him flying
Seriously,
off like in Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
not realistic physics with the driving.
Yeah.
Um, Boating, I liked.
I haven't tried it.
Um, the the boating's good, but that's a positive. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Those are my main negatives with the game so far. Granted, like I said, I've only been playing 2 or 3 hours. So Jake, what are your positives?
Positives. I like how it looks. Obviously, that's going to be a positive. It's next gen, so you'd hope so. A big look would be, as we talked about earlier, water. I mean, we were making the joke that it's not. It's just real water. It's not fake.
Mhm.
It's real. The
Yeah,
water's
it,
real.
it looks real. If you played Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, you know how good they made the water look in that game.
Hmm.
This is even better.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The water is amazing, and the lighting I've never seen lighting
The
like
lighting's
that in a
really,
game.
really well done. Because I mean, I was driving around in the rain, and there was a street light, and I don't know why it struck me, but the light was perfectly reflecting, and it was flickering because of the rain, and I was like,
Hmm.
wow. Other positives, it's pretty easy gun mechanics, basic. Pretty easy to drive around, shoot somebody. Jeez, I
The
mean,
hacking's fast.
the hacking is fast. I mean, it doesn't take a long time. You're not gonna be sitting there like, oh God, what do I do? You're just gonna be like, oh look at it, I'm gonna hack through that.
I've only been free roaming. I've done maybe 2 or 3 of the campaign missions just to get to the part where I can start doing stuff on my own. Jake's done even less. He's just sticking in like kind of the starting area, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
The city seems big, but something I noticed, I played a lot of Saints Row 4. And in Saints Row 4, you have like the superpowers and stuff. You can fly, you jump really high, you climb up buildings super fast. And driving in a car was kind of taken back with that because you get around so much faster with just on
Hmm.
foot.
Hmm.
This game, I look on the map and it says, you have 1,200 yards to get to your next
Yeah,
objectives.
yeah,
You get in a
meters,
car
whatever.
and you go, and you're there in a couple seconds.
Yeah, it
Like
doesn't take
not
long at
seconds, but
all.
like 30 seconds for like 1,200 meters. Compared to other games, I don't know if that's just the way it's measuring it compared to other games, but when you first go in, it seems huge, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried as of just 2 or 3 hours in how it's almost feeling small to me now
Hmm.
because the distances aren't super big in between
Yeah, I
the
noticed that
different objectives.
I was in a police chase, right? And I was driving through the starting area. I ended up all the way through the starting area and all the way through the loop, and I really hadn't driven more than a couple minutes,
Hmm.
and it took that long. I mean, and the chase was over, but I felt I'd driven through the whole main part of downtown,
Yeah,
which if you do drive through downtown, it definitely takes more than
yeah.
a minute.
Us being from Chicago and not from the city, but
Let's
from
see.
the northwestern suburbs, we've been down there a lot. We both have family down there, I believe. So we go down there, all the holidays, all that kind of stuff. But it seems like there's not enough people.
Yeah, I noticed that too. The streets are kind of empty, which is
Hmm.
weird for a Ubisoft game because with all the Assassin's Creed, they've been known to add
Hmm.
a lot of characters to make cities living.
Yeah,
And with this one, it kind of just I don't know. I don't want to dog it with our positives, but that it just kind of seemed a little empty.
yeah. I kind of feel like we're just shitting all over the game right now, but
But it is a
th-
really good game. I mean, I've really
yes.
enjoyed all the side missions. Like, if you played Grand Theft Auto, you probably enjoyed open world games. There's
Hmm.
way more to do than Grand Theft Auto had, in probably the whole game in the first
Absolutely,
2 hours I've played.
absolutely. They aren't as structured as Grand Theft Auto. I'll give it that. Because
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, every side thing had a little story to it.
Yeah.
Even the random events that you would help somebody get their bike back, and they would say, "Here's a stock tip" or something, and then you could learn about that. Like it
Hmm.
just everything was more put together. And this, I think, they tried to make bigger,
Hmm.
and I not bigger size wise, but bigger things to do wise. But I think they're falling short with. I don't know. There's a ton of variety. I love the variety. The VR missions. I actually played one, Spider Tank. Um, it's exactly what it sounds like. I was telling Jake about it earlier. It's really fun. However, um, besides that, the story in the side missions is lacking because they move so
From what
quick.
you've seen,
Yeah,
from what
from
you've
what
seen.
I've seen. Granted, this is a first impressions. After we get maybe I say we'll talk about it again Saturday when we do our
Yeah, we'll
next
talk
when
about
we
it
do
again
our
Saturday.
official podcast episode 2. This is not a podcast. This is our first impressions on
Yeah,
Watch Dogs. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it greatly.
I'm enjoying it. I think it's really fun. It looks good. It reminds me of home, which is nice.
Hmm.
It has a really good night and day cycle. It looks really
Yes.
well. It looks really well done. I mean, it has all the basics. I think a big problem with it is that we're so judgmental is because we play a lot of open world games.
Yeah.
Primarily, we like open world games. Played them all, and I mean,
Hmm.
after a while, you become really, really strict on what you expect from a game like that.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I just hope it doesn't turn into Grand Theft Auto. For when I beat it, I'm not going to want to play it anymore because there's nothing to do. I've already heard the multiplayer is um, repetitive, so I'm a little worried on that. But I will try it out. I
Yeah.
haven't yet.
I think part of the reason we're being so critical is because Ubisoft has worked so long on this game and it's been built up so much. I
Mhm.
mean, it was hyped beyond belief. This was the definitive next gen title. This was actually supposed to release on launch with the PS4 and Xbox One.
Hence why it's on the box.
Yeah, it's um, it's good though.
It's
I
good
just
for
expected
sure.
more with a game that was in development for 5 years, but I'm okay with it. I'm
Yeah, I'm
going to
okay with it.
enjoy it. I am enjoying it. Like I said, I didn't want to be super critical, but that's just what comes to mind. What I get
Hmm.
passionate about, especially with open world games. Um,
Yeah,
it 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 feels like it's not trying to be a game. It feels like it's trying to be something more.
yeah, more like a story, like
Yeah.
kind of like a really big story-driven thing.
Whereas Wolfenstein was a game, and
Was a
we had
game
fun with it. You could sit
for
down, you
sure.
could play it for a couple hours, you could set it down. This seems like it's very realistic, trying to be very, very realistic.
Hmm.
Um,
Not like Grand Theft Auto, which was trying to be ridiculous. Not ridiculous on a Saints Row level,
mhm.
but ridiculous enough to where you want to play it. I mean, characters
Yeah,
like Trevor, you're not
it
going to
was a
find that.
game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
but these are again these are our first impressions.
yeah, I mean, I haven't played more than a couple hours. I do enjoy the little side things. There's a lot of side missions, a lot of side things to do. I mean, they're everywhere.
Hmm.
There's a lot of unlockables. It's really fun.
Yeah,
I'd recommend playing it. I'd probably give it probably an 8 right now. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's fair.
I would be right. I would be right up there with the I'm on Metacritic right now in the other window, Jake. And since we last checked, the user score has actually gone down. But the Metascore from the 49 critics or whatever you want to call them is generally favorable reviews based on 49 critics. It's sitting at an 82 right now.
I'd
This
say
is
that's a
the
fair.
PlayStation 4 version.
I'd say that's a
I would
fair review.
I would agree with it. Maybe a 75. Um, in my harsher opinion, but I haven't gotten to the story yet.
Yeah, I haven't played the story yet. I think it has an interesting concept. I can't really tell. I don't like the cutscenes, how they are really choppy. I know that they want to do that as the whole overall hacking theme, but if you're going to make a cutscene, you should probably just make it visible.
It's a style choice. The cutscenes are a little hard to understand sometimes, especially if you're ADD like me. And you're kind of all over the place, so all that stuff happening at once, it's not ideal. But I'm dealing with it. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's definitely good.
Once I get further into the story, I'm sure it'll open up, hopefully, where I could do more and have more fun. The hacking skills are very fun. I forgot to mention that.
I do enjoy the skill tree. I like the skill tree concept where you can add more hacks, where you can add more weapon skill, driving skill, crafting skill. There is a crafting system. I haven't really played with it a lot.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out a lot.
Crafting system, like nothing like, where you got to get 7 different types of components. You get like 2 things and you mix them together and you got a lure is what
half
they
the
call
time
it.
You wouldn't even notice that you had those 2 things.
Exactly. But anyway, the Metacritic score is 82. The user score on Metacritic is a 5.9 right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, when I looked at it earlier, it was actually at a 6.2. There's 498 ratings, and it dropped down to a 5.9. The user reviews that people have written, I looked through some of them, and they're either, the top 3 are, these are 10 out of 10, I've been waiting for this game for blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's nice. But I think what's bringing us down is guys like this fucker who's giving it a 0 out of 10. Nothing deserves a 0 out of 10 unless it's an unfinished piece of shit, like something that me and Jake will talk about on Saturday's podcast, maybe earlier if he's got the time.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to him before we started recording this, and yeah. Hi, McKinley. That's his daughter.
That's my daughter. She's trying to make a cameo.
But yeah, he's just...
Hi. Hi.
Hi, McKinley. But yeah, this guy has like a 7 to 8 paragraph just shit all over the game. Gave it a 0 out of 10. He's a dumbass, is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. If I think my lowest would be a 7, and my high. Oh well, maybe a 6. My highest would be an 8 as of right now. I hope it picks up. I hope it gets more open. I hope. I mean, I can't pray for these things. I mean, I'm just gonna play it and see where it goes. I'm sure I'll play it for a while. I'm sure it'll be a 30+ hour game.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. One more thing. We forgot to do this. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
seriously.
Thanks. For sure.
Thank you for all the support we've gotten. Our first video, I think it's sitting at like 62 views or something right now.
Something like that.
And we recorded it 2 days ago, put it up that night with basically no warning. I mean, we made the Facebook, the Twitter, and our YouTube page an hour before we recorded that. And it's just blowing my mind how much support we're getting. People we've never met are messaging us on Facebook and stuff, saying, hey, I really like your content. Looking forward to seeing more from you guys, stuff like that. If you want to get in contact with us, just Schleshraz. That's our Facebook page. Our Twitter is @Schleshraz.
@Schleshraz.
You could subscribe to this channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook.
I have it all on the YouTube channel. If you go to the About section, it's all in there.
Yeah, the links are right there. I'll actually put a little annotation in the video for our Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Should be right over here. I'm going to say right there is the Twitter, right there is the Facebook.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day. Thanks so much.
Have a great day. Thank you.